Lesson 14.2 is parallelogram properties. So think about the word parallelogram means that it has sides that are parallel. Both pairs of opposite sides have to be parallel. Other properties, both pairs of opposite sides are congruent. So let's mark this picture up. So parallel, remember, is the little arrows. These two sides are parallel. We'll give these two sides 2 arrows, saying that these are parallel. They're also congruent. So NP would equal MQ, and PQ would equal MN. Both pairs of opposite angles are congruent, so I can say that this angle here at M and this angle here at P would be the same measurement. And then this angle here at N and this angle here at Q would be the same or congruent. And I also know one pair of opposite sides is parallel and congruent. Basically what that means is if I know this statement, I can already say that yes, this has to be a parallelogram. So if I were given that one pair of opposite sides is parallel and that same set of sides is congruent, that means that these are the equal lengths and they're running parallel. So to make other lines, they're going to have to be parallel because they're the same length and angled the same way. So I'm trying to make that make sense of just these are lines that are the same length, they're the same, they're parallel to each other, and so if I'm going to finish or close this shape up and draw 2 other straight lines, they're going to have to also be parallel and congruent. So that's enough info to prove it. And then the only other thing that you need to know about parallelograms is that the diagonals bisect each other. What that means is this diagonal from M to P is going to be cut in half. So right here is going to equal here. So R to P and R to M because NQ is bisecting it. I also know that NR would be equal to QR because MP is cutting this line into 2 equal segments. So that's important. It does not say that the diagonals are equal in length. You can tell obviously they're not. This diagonal is way longer than this is, but each piece of the diagonal will be congruent to the other piece. Okay, so knowing all those things, let's look at number 1. RSTU is a parallelogram. They're telling us that. So it says if TV is 7, find TR. So we want to know all the way. Well, we've just learned that the diagonals bisect each other. So if that's 7, that's 7. 7 plus 7 makes it 14. And if SU equals 9, so SU would be the whole thing. Find VU, so from here to here, we would want half of that. That would mean that's 4.5, and this would be 4.5. It's that simple. All right, number 2, find the measure of the 3 missing angles in the parallelogram below. The only one we know, I know it's kind of blurry, the only one we know is this degree right here. I know that this angle and the angle opposite from it will be the same. So I can say that Z is also 69 degrees. These two will also be equal. And since these are parallel lines, here and here, and this is like my transversal, notice that these 2 angles are called same side or consecutive interior angles. They should make 180. So I could go 180 minus the 69, which is 111 degrees. That makes this 111 degrees. The other thing I could do is knowing that all 4-sided shapes have 360, I could have subtracted 69, subtract 69, and then divided that in half to get that they're each 111. So lots of different ways there. All right, number 3, find the length of the 2 missing sides in the parallelogram below. Easy enough. I know that the opposite sides are congruent, so I know X is also going to be 85. And then I know Y is going to be also 136. And the last one says to find the value of X, Y, and Z in the parallelogram below. It's just going to involve some algebra. I know again that opposite angles are going to be congruent, so I would set this negative 4x minus 1 equal to 75 degrees. Add 1, negative 4x equals 76 divided by negative 4. And you get negative 19. Now that's not saying what the angle measure is, that's simply finding what value of x would get plugged in and make that equal 75. So there's a part of it. Then I would try to figure out what these two angles are. Because remember, we said that these two must make a 180. So 180 minus the 75 that I know makes each of these angles have to equal 105 degrees. So I can simply set negative y minus 10 equal to 105. Add 10. That would be 115 divided by negative 1 makes y equal negative 115. And then for z, same thing. 4z minus 3 needs to equal 105 degrees. Add 3. That would be 108. Divide by 4. Would be 27.